Hello, you're watching Movie Snapshot Scenes, and this is the summary of Requiem for a Dream. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Bright sunlight pours through the windows of a small Brooklyn apartment, but there's no warmth in the air, only the quiet buzz of static from a television. On the other side of the screen, Sara Goldfarb sits frozen in her armchair, clutching it as if it were an anchor to something long gone. In the hallway, her son, Harry, is stealing her television set again. It's not the first time. It won't be the last. Harry Goldfarb is a smooth-talking dreamer with dark circles under his eyes and heroin in his veins. His best friend, Tyrone, is always by his side, loyal, sharp, chasing the same high, the same illusions of success. Together, they float through the summer days with smiles and syringes, convinced they're just one good score away from making it all real. Harry dreams of opening a clothing store with his girlfriend, Marion Silver. She's artistic, beautiful, and broken in all the same ways. Their love is intense, passionate, but fragile. Drugs are the glue holding them together. Their dreams feed off each other, like oxygen and fire. Meanwhile, Sara remains in her apartment, surrounded by old memories and static noise. When she receives a mysterious phone call saying she's been selected to appear on a television game show, something inside her reignites. A spark, a purpose. She believes her moment has finally come. She wants to fit into the red dress she wore at Harry's graduation. The dress that reminds her of pride, of family, of being seen. But she no longer fits. Her solution: diet pills. When her doctor prescribes them, she doesn't ask questions. They suppress her appetite, boost her energy, and make her feel alive, more alert, more focused. Addiction doesn't announce itself with a scream, it whispers. Harry, Marion, and Tyrone begin selling drugs. Small-time deals, enough to fuel their own habits and bankroll their ambitions. The money starts flowing. They laugh louder. They talk faster. The future, for a brief moment, feels like something they can touch. Sara stares into the glow of her television. It tells her she's special, that everything will be okay. Outside, the summer pulses, the city hums, and all four of them keep dreaming, chasing something bright, distant, and dangerous. They don't know it yet, but the descent has already begun. Summer in Brooklyn feels electric. For Harry, Marion, and Tyrone, everything is clicking into place. They've moved beyond just getting high. They're building something. With each successful drug deal, the dream inches closer. Marion sketches, designs for her boutique. Harry talks about leasing a storefront, and Tyrone imagines becoming more than just a street kid. They believe they're on the rise. Their world, for a moment, becomes vibrant and alive. Harry buys Marion a gift, an expensive one, and her eyes light up. They kiss in the golden light of their apartment, skin against skin, laughter echoing off the walls. Their love feels limitless. Fueled by heroin and fantasy, they are unstoppable. Tyrone, haunted by memories of his mother, finds solace in the rhythm of their routine. The streets that once threatened to swallow him whole now feel like an empire waiting to be claimed. He wants to make her proud, even if she's just a ghost in his mind now. Meanwhile, Sara Goldfarb slips deeper into her own spiral. The diet pills are working. She's losing weight. The red dress almost fits again. Her television glows brighter. She imagines herself in front of a cheering audience, dazzling in that red dress, transformed, reborn. She sees herself as important, finally seen. But something else is happening. Her hands tremble. Her thoughts race. Sleep becomes a stranger. She increases her dose, just a little. She wants to speed up the transformation. In her fridge, nothing but a grapefruit. Still, she smiles. The pills give her energy. She cleans the apartment, dances in front of the TV, practices smiling like the women she sees on her favorite show. The line between fantasy and reality begins to blur. She talks to the screen. It talks back. Outside, business takes a darker turn. A heroin drought begins. The local supply tightens. Tension grows. Harry's arm starts to ache. His veins, overused and infected, pulse with warning signs. But he ignores them. They all do. The money has slowed, but the hunger hasn't. Marion's frustration simmers. Her dream slips further out of reach with each passing day. Without drugs, they begin to unravel, not just in body, but in spirit. Still, they hold on to the illusion. Sara keeps taking her pills. Harry keeps injecting. Tyrone keeps running. And Marion keeps dreaming of a store that might never exist. They're all climbing higher, chasing the sun, and the fall is just around the corner. The brightness begins to dim. Summer fades, and with it, the illusion of control. The heroin supply has dried up, and Harry, Marion, and Tyrone are adrift in withdrawal, frustration, and fear. Their plans, once so vivid and full of promise, now flicker like dying light bulbs in the dark corners of their minds. Harry's infection worsens. His left arm, red and swollen, throbs with every heartbeat. He knows he needs a doctor, but refuses to go. Doctors ask questions. Hospitals bring police. Instead, he wraps his arm tighter, shoots into the least damaged veins, and tells himself he'll be fine. Marion is unraveling faster. Her boutique, her art, her independence, once her purpose, is buried beneath a growing dependency. Without drugs, her skin itches, her mind races, and her emotions swing like a pendulum. She begs Harry to find more. He tries. He always tries. But there's nothing left. Tyrone, desperate to fix things, decides they need to go south. Florida, he says. The supply there is better. They'll make a run, re-up, and start over. It sounds like a plan. It always sounds like a plan. So they drive, but the road isn't kind. Tyrone is arrested after a botched deal. Harry, dope-sick and clearly infected, can't do much to help. They're trapped in a jail cell, surrounded by silence, sickness, and shame. Back in New York, Marion is left alone. She calls Harry, screaming into the phone, begging for help. But there's nothing he can give her. Nothing but a name, a connection. If she wants the drugs, she'll have to get them herself. And she does. She puts on makeup. She puts on a smile. She walks into the lion's den with trembling hands. And she trades her dignity for a hit. Meanwhile, Sara Goldfarb spirals into full psychosis. The television is no longer a screen. It's a portal. The characters speak to her directly, calling her fat, mocking her dreams. Her apartment walls seem to pulse. She sees flames behind her fridge. She sees her own reflection, talking back. Her mind fractures. She walks through the city in her red dress, chasing the promise of the game show, chasing the promise of being seen. People stare. She's thin now, yes, but something is wrong in her eyes. Very wrong. The dreams that once lit up their lives are now breaking apart like glass under pressure, and soon all that will be left is the sound of them shattering. Everything is slipping. What began as a gradual unraveling has now turned into freefall. The world no longer feels like it's collapsing around them. It is collapsing. The dreams are dead. What remains are hunger, desperation, and hollow rituals that only briefly quiet the screaming inside. Harry lies in a jail cell in the south, his arms swollen beyond recognition. The infection is spreading. The guards don't care. Tyrone, pacing nearby, watches his friend deteriorate and can't hide the fear anymore. His bravado is gone. There's no more talk of plans or Florida or bouncing back. There is only survival. Tyrone flashes back to his childhood, his mother's arms, her voice, the warmth of a kitchen now long gone. The memories offer no comfort. They feel more like ghosts than anchors. Marion, back in New York, becomes a shell. She no longer picks up a pencil to draw. She no longer thinks of the boutique. Her body moves, but her spirit is drained. She needs the next hit like oxygen. When her connection dries up, she lowers herself even further, reaching out to the one name Harry gave her. the man who can provide for a price. At first, she trades time. Then she trades pieces of herself. She knows it's wrong. She feels it. But the addiction has consumed whatever resistance she once had. The world outside is a blur. The world inside is darker still. Sara Goldfarb is locked away in a mental hospital. She doesn't know how she got there. Her red dress is gone, replaced by a hospital gown. Needles go in and out of her arms. Pills line up in plastic cups. She screams, claws, pleads. She begs them to let her go home, to let her be on the show. She's convinced they're keeping her from her moment. The doctors don't listen, they only observe. Eventually, they prepare her for electroconvulsive therapy. Strapped to a table, mouthguard clenched between her teeth, she looks up at the light above her. It's cold, sterile, unblinking. Then the electricity hits and the light fades. All four of them, Harry, Marion, Tyrone, and Sara, are now past the point of return. They reach for something beautiful. Love, pride, meaning, purpose. But they held on too tight. They chased too far. Now all they can do is fall. The dreams are gone. What remains is silence, pain, and the unbearable weight of regret. Harry lies in a southern prison hospital, pale and shaking. His arm is a grotesque infected mass, rotten, blackened. The pain is no longer something he can hide. He finally begs for help, for relief, for an end to the suffering. The doctors assess the damage. There's no saving the limb. They prepare him for amputation. On the operating table, as the anesthesia sets in, Harry sees flashes of Marion, her smile, her touch, her voice whispering dreams of their store. A vision of love, untouched by needles. He tries to hold on to her face as the light fades, but it slips away like everything else. Tyrone, still in jail, breaks beneath the weight. Withdrawals hit him like waves. Sweat soaks his clothes. He shakes, vomits, cries. The other inmates watch without pity. At night, he curls into himself, whimpering his mother's name. He remembers her cooking, her voice, her warmth. The past is a knife now, a reminder of what he was before the streets took him. He stares at the concrete wall, and there is no future there. Marion spirals into the abyss. She returns to the man Harry sent her to, the dealer who doesn't trade in money. He offers her heroin, but the price is her dignity. In a dark room filled with strangers, flashing lights and leering eyes, Marion is no longer a woman, or a girlfriend, or an artist. She is a transaction. She clutches the drugs afterward like treasure. She returns home alone, stripping down, preparing the needle. Her hands no longer shake. Her eyes no longer cry. She's numb now, hollow. She injects the hit. Her head falls back, and she disappears. Sara Goldfarb is unrecognizable. Her hair is gone, burned away by repeated shock treatments. Her eyes are wide, vacant. She no longer screams, no longer dreams. She lies still in her hospital bed, staring at nothing. The doctors speak of improvement, but the light inside her is extinguished. Each character lies in their own corner of hell, alone, broken, lost. They reached for something. Love, meaning, identity. But addiction took everything. The world didn't end in a bang. It ended in a whimper, in silence, in shadows, in surrender. In the silence that follows the fall, the mind retreats. Reality has become unbearable, so each of them escapes into fantasy, the only place where they can still feel whole. Their bodies may be broken, but their minds still flicker with ghosts of the lives they once dreamed of. Sara Goldfarb lies motionless in her hospital bed, a shell of who she was. But in her mind, she's on television. The lights shine bright. The audience claps. The host beams at her proudly. She stands center, stage in her red dress, thinner than ever, radiant with joy. The crowd chants her name. "You're on television, Sara. You're a star." And beside her is Harry, smiling, healthy, successful. He tells her he's doing great. He tells her he loves her. In her fantasy, nothing was ever lost. Her weight, her loneliness, her sadness, they never existed. Only light remains. But outside, her mind, a nurse adjusts her IV. No audience, no applause, just the humming of machines. Tyrone lies in a prison cot, drenched in sweat. His arms are bruised, his eyes red. But in his dreams, he's home. He walks into his mother's kitchen. She greets him with a smile, arms open. She tells him he's a good boy, that she's proud of him. The warmth of her voice cuts through the cold concrete of his cell. For a moment, he's free. But the moment doesn't last. Marion clutches her pillow in her dark apartment, high and fading. She dreams of her boutique, a bright, airy shop filled with her designs. She stands at the counter, beautiful, confident. Harry walks in, holding flowers. They kiss. The bell on the door jingles as customers arrive. In the fantasy, she is not for sale. She is loved, and Harry lies in a hospital bed, one arm gone, strapped with tubes. But in his mind, he runs to Marion on a snowy street. She smiles at him with open arms. The pain in his body disappears as he embraces her, holds her tightly. They are young again, clean, safe, but none of it is real. Their dreams survive only in fragments, flickering like the static on a broken television screen. In those illusions, they find peace, but it's a cruel kind of peace, temporary, fragile, fading, because reality always returns. And when it does, it brings only silence. Time passes, but nothing heals. Each of them lies curled into themselves, locked away in separate corners of suffering. The future, once a shimmering light on the horizon, has vanished. All that remains is the present, a crushing, unbearable. Now, in the hospital, Harry Goldfarb opens his eyes to sterile white walls and the weight of loss. His arm is gone, a stump where his future used to be. He doesn't cry. He doesn't scream. He simply stares ahead, hollowed out. The nurse speaks gently to him. He doesn't hear her. In his mind, Marion is still out there, waiting for him. But he knows she isn't. Marion lies in bed in her apartment, arms bruised, soul shattered. Her eyes are open, but vacant. The red light of the city filters through her window, casting shadows on the walls. She curls into a fetal position, clutching the only thing she has left. Nothing. Her body trembles. Her mind retreats. She whispers Harry's name, not out of hope, out of habit. Tyrone scrubs floors in prison, chained and watched. He moves without thought, just motion, just survival. At night, he curls into himself, the same fetal position, haunted by memories of his mother. Her voice still reaches him in dreams, soft and warm. He sobs silently, muffled by a thin prison pillow. And Sara Goldfarb, once full of hope and illusion, lies still in her hospital bed. Her hair is gone, her mind shattered, but in the empty vastness of her thoughts, she's still on stage. The applause surrounds her, the lights shine bright. Her son wraps his arms around her, strong and successful. She smiles in her dream, but in the real world, she's alone. All four of them lie in fetal positions. Harry, Marion, Tyrone, and Sara, each broken in their own way, each trapped by the dreams they once believed would save them. The camera lingers on them one by one, not to pity, but to mourn. They didn't set out to destroy themselves, they just wanted more. Love, success, recognition, a place in the world. But the world doesn't make room for fragile dreams. It devours them, slowly, quietly, until nothing remains but the echo of what could have been. The Requiem plays its final note. Not loud, not triumphant, but soft and final, a lullaby for lost souls.